In this video, I want to talk to you about motivation and why for me, this day in particular is when I feel more motivated than ever, but why I also think that we are at a vital crossroads in time where you need to find your motivation in order to set the correct exercise levels for you. Thanks for joining us. My name's John. I'm the head therapist at John W Sports Institute. And here what we like to do is create as much content as we can just to give you tips on being as the healthy, best well-being that you can be for yourself. So if you like our content, please do us a big favour and hit that like button. And also, if you find this video to be helpful, make sure you subscribe so I can keep you updated when we keep bringing out new videos. But on to motivation. Why is today the day that I am almost most motivated for the week ahead and the months ahead more than any other time of the year? Well, today was the London Marathon and the virtual London Marathon. And since I was a kid, I've always found this event to be incredibly inspiring. Now, this isn't a video about running, but for me personally, it creates those juices and those real sort of motivational lifts and highs, if you like, to really make sure I start thinking about my goals. And why do I think that it's vital and we're at this crossroads in time? Well, I want to relate that back to working. And throughout this pandemic, obviously the working world has changed and how we're working, but what I think we find ourselves at, and my prediction is that how we come to work over the next 2 or 3 months might be really the scope of how we're working going forwards. Now, I'm excited about the opportunities that home working can bring to people who were previously working in offices, but I do also think it brings a danger. And let me explain that the typical person who's working in the office 5 days a week, I'm guessing may have had a 10 to 15 minute walk to the train station. They may have had a 10 to 15 minute walk at the other end or potentially even further, and then the same again home. But what you've had there is an hour's moderate exercise, an hour's walking every single day, multiplied by five sessions of that a week that might have now just gone. And we find ourselves working from home. And the danger for me is that this step count, if you like, has just been slashed. And what I think we need to do whilst we form our new working habits is making sure that we're fitting in the appropriate amount of time to maintain these exercise levels. And so what I want you to do is to really think about your motivation and what motivates you. As I say, if you've taken some inspiration like I have from today, it might just be that kickstart that you need. So the first thing I want you to do though is to understand your why. Whenever I look to work with somebody in clinic, the first thing I always want to do is understand their why. And this may sound strange to some people when they might say to me, oh, I'm here because I'm suffering with back pain. And I say, well, why do you want to be free from back pain? And they might say things like, because it doesn't hurt anymore. But I'll keep pushing and I'll say, why? And then we might establish that it's because they actually want to get back to running, or they want to get back to lifting some weight in the gym, or they might want to play with their grandchildren comfortably and be able to pick them up. It doesn't matter, but what does matter is that that person understands their why. So what I want you to do, firstly, is really think about understanding your why. And when you understand what you want to achieve, that will allow you to set suitable goals in order to achieve that. So take this moment to think about what you want to achieve over the coming days, weeks, months, and even years. Think about your why. Think about what motivates you. What could be a new challenge that you take on that you can factor into your current day that most importantly is going to be sustainable for you in order to come up with the healthiest, best version of yourself. At the end of the day, we all have our one body, and ultimately what we get out of it is what we look to put into it. So what I want you to do is think about what can motivate you to really create the best version of yourself that you can. And again, if you find these sort of thoughtful things helpful, then feel free to drop a comment to us. I'd love to have a think about you and help you to understand your why, because the biggest passion for me is that we work with a variety of people who all have a different why. So once you establish yours, see if you can set yourself a series of goals that builds up to that ultimate end goal that you now sitting here think is really motivating for you to achieve. And I think then you'll be able to factor that in. And once you do these things over a repeated process, so it could be something as small as taking yourself out for a walk in the morning before you start work. But if we do this 5 or 6 times, suddenly it becomes a habit and it becomes much easier to factor into your day. So it is possible to achieve your goals, but I think it's absolutely vital that you are factoring those in now as we find ourselves at this vital crossroads of time. If you found this helpful, Please feel free to smash that like button so others can see this. And as I mentioned at the start of the video, if you enjoy these videos, then please do feel free to subscribe so I can keep you updated. And what we've got here is another video that you might find helpful in your health and well-being journey.